I can still recall the exact sound of her voice that day, steady, emotionless, almost mechanical. She spoke as if she were reading off a grocery list, not erasing 5 years of love. "Ethan," she said softly, her eyes fixed on the steaming cup between her hands. "I just feel nothing anymore, no shouting, no tears. Just that one quiet confession that split my world cleanly in two, before and after. For a few heartbeats, I couldn't form a word. My brain refused to accept what my ears had heard. I waited for her to smile, to laugh, to tell me she was just tired or upset. But her expression never changed, blank, distant, and final. "Nothing?" I finally managed. "You mean, for me?" She nodded once. That single movement was all the closure I'd ever get. Her name was Laya. We'd met back in college. She was the kind of girl who believed love could mend anything. And somehow, she made me believe it too. I used to think what we had was unshakable. But somewhere along the line, between promotions, bills, and the quiet suffocation of routine, love simply ran out of air. I didn't argue. I didn't beg. I just stood, left some cash on the table, and walked out of the cafe. She didn't call after me. The soft click of the door closing behind me felt like the sound of a chapter ending for good. For weeks, the silence in my apartment felt like a living thing. I told myself I'd done the right thing, that you can't make someone feel what's already gone. But every night, her words replayed in my head, colder each time. "I feel nothing anymore. I deleted our pictures, packed her belongings, even changed my route to avoid that cafe. But grief doesn't fade in straight lines. It lingers, in the scent of her shampoo on an old hoodie, in the song we played while cooking dinner, in the ghost of laughter echoing down empty hallways. A month later, at a friend's birthday dinner, I ran into her best friend, Maya. I almost didn't recognize her. Shorter hair, a new kind of confidence. The kind people find only after heartbreak or revelation. She smiled when she saw me, though it didn't reach her eyes. "Ethan." "Been a while." "Yeah," I said, awkwardly. "How's Laya?" Maya hesitated, her gaze faltering. "She's figuring things out." I nodded, pretending I didn't care. But the way she said it, tight, uneasy, sent a knot twisting in my stomach. Throughout the night, I could feel her watching me. Not with interest, but with something heavier, like she had a secret clawing at her throat. When I finally decided to leave, she followed me out into the damp night air. "Ethan, wait." We stood beneath the soft amber glow of the streetlight. The air smelled like rain. She looked anxious, almost guilty. "I probably shouldn't tell you this," she began, her voice trembling. "But I can't keep it to myself anymore." My pulse quickened. "Tell me what?" Maya took a breath, glanced down, then met my eyes. Laya didn't just stop feeling. She redirected those feelings. I frowned. "What does that mean?" She stepped closer, her tone dropping to a whisper. "She's been seeing someone else, Ethan, even before she told you she felt nothing." Her words struck harder than I'd imagined. I'd pictured emotional distance, maybe even depression, but betrayal? That was something different. Something sharp. "You're sure?" I asked quietly. Maya nodded. "I saw them together. More than once. I told her it was wrong, but she said she'd end it soon. Instead, she lied to you. The world seemed to close in. Each breath felt heavier than the last. "Why are you telling me this now?" She hesitated, her voice dropping to a whisper that crawled beneath my skin. "Because she's not the only one lying, Ethan. And if you're not careful, you're going to find out just how deep this goes." I stared at her, completely lost. "What are you talking about?" Maya glanced over her shoulder as if afraid someone might be watching. Then she leaned closer and murmured something that froze me in place. "Laya wasn't cheating with someone, Ethan. She was cheating on someone else, and you were part of it." For a moment, the words made no sense. My mind refused to put the pieces together. "What do you mean I was part of it?" I asked, my voice shaking. Maya's expression darkened. "Laya wasn't single when you met her. She told you she was, but there was someone else, someone she never really let go of. You weren't her beginning, Ethan. You were her escape route. And when things got too real, she went back to him. It felt like the world tilted beneath my feet. Every memory that once felt warm and safe suddenly turned venomous. That night, she appeared at my door, crying, saying she'd fought with her ex. I thought it was a breakup. It wasn't. It was an intermission, and I was never the destination. I was the distraction. I wanted to convince myself Maya was wrong, that it couldn't be true. But somewhere deep inside, I knew. There had always been signs. Those late-night calls she'd take outside, the messages that vanished, the way her expression would darken after reading her. Phone? I'd seen all of it. I just chose not to. Love can turn blindness into something that almost feels noble. Maya looked at me with eyes that carried both guilt and pity. I'm sorry, she said softly. You deserve to know. I told her years ago. Truth rots when you hide it. Then she turned and left me there, standing beneath that flickering streetlight, my chest feeling like it had been hollowed out. I didn't drive home right away. I just walked. Through the quiet. Through the ache. I needed air, even if breathing it burned. When I finally got back to my apartment, I poured myself a drink and sat in the dark. The silence wasn't peaceful anymore. It wasn't even sad, it was just empty. I replayed every moment with Laya. Every smile, every promise, every apology. Now, they all felt like lines from a script, somewhere between the first and second glass. My phone buzzed. An unknown number. You talked to Maya. I froze. Then another message followed. Whatever she told you, she doesn't know everything. It was her Laya. I didn't answer. For the first time in years, I had nothing to say, but she didn't stop. I never wanted to hurt you. I just couldn't keep pretending. You were the only real part of my life, Ethan. I stared at the words until they blurred. It was cruel. Really. How someone could destroy you and still beg for forgiveness. Not for your sake, but to soothe their own guilt. After a long pause, I typed only one sentence. Real love doesn't begin with lies. Then I blocked her. The next few days passed like static, work, silence, sleep, repeat. My friends noticed something had shifted, but I didn't talk about it. What could I even say? That I'd built 5 years of my life on borrowed emotions? That the woman I mourned was never really mine to lose? A few evenings later, my phone rang again. It was Maya. She's gone, she said quietly. Left the city. Didn't tell anyone where. I exhaled a breath I hadn't realized I'd been holding. Good, I whispered. Maya hesitated before replying. I didn't tell you all this to hurt you, Ethan. I just didn't want to see you spend your life loving a ghost. Yeah, I said softly. I know. We were both silent for a long moment before she added, You're not the fool here. You're just the one who loved honestly. That sentence lingered with me long after the call ended. Weeks turned into months. Slowly, the ache began to fade. The lies stopped replaying in my mind. I started noticing life again. The smell of fresh coffee in the morning. The sound of rain hitting the window. The way the city softened in the golden light of dusk. One afternoon, I ran into Maya again, at a small bookstore downtown. We talked for a while, not about Laya this time, but about work, travel, random bits of life. She laughed easily, and for the first time in a long while, I found myself laughing too. Before leaving, she said something I never forgot. You can't blame yourself for loving someone who was broken, but you can stop breaking yourself trying to fix them. That night, I went home and deleted the last picture I had of Laya. No anger, no sadness, just release. It's strange how endings sound. Sometimes they echo like heartbreak. Other times, like peace. She once told me she felt nothing anymore. At the time, I thought that was the cruelest thing anyone could ever say. But now I understand. Maybe feeling nothing is where healing begins, because the moment I stopped feeling her, I started feeling alive again.